to find a way to bring some understanding today. Picket lines, picket signs, don't punish me. Brutality, talk to me so you can see what's going on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's going on? Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's going on? Will you tell me what's going on? I wanna know what's going on. What's going on
in our neighborhood
What's going on?
with our political system,
What's going on?
with police brutality,
What's going on?
with education and healthcare.
What's going on? Yeah. What's going on? 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 Yeah, yeah.
This is a traffic jam, traffic jam.
They might listen to radio, they might turn on TV, they might listen to music. Old school, new school, rap, hip hop, whatever it is, it has a beat and a cadence, and you can pick it up on radio waves, TV waves, whatever you want. You begin to pick up this sound, and you dive to it.
Tell me this ain't rap. Yeah. This ain't rap. Just discussing the facts. True that. Check it. Look. This ain't rap. Just discussing the facts. Too many of us down where the fuck I'm at. Niggas so far gone that they can't come back. Got cut with buck 50s or bust from the gap. Just another body done on the map. Just another statistic. Just another stat. Just another color. Just another black. Just another brother under. Understand that? Nah, not really, but it seems I'm being forced. Growing up in the G, seen it from the front porch. He's being scorched, peeps reaching for the torch. Next day we being caught like a child needs support. Can I get away, midway airport? Days like this, wish I was in the Air Force. How dare beat the devil, can't dare be cold. Don't need to write it down, just share me those. This ain't rap. No, no, this ain't rap. No, no, this ain't rap. Just discussing the facts. Too many of us down where the fuck I'm at. This ain't rap. No, this ain't rap. No, this ain't rap. Just discussing the facts. Look, check it. This ain't rap. Just kicking the actuals. Revolutionized rebel, I'm a radical. Before you, after you. BCAC attitude. Do what I wanna do after what I had to do. Cops telling me to freeze cause they ain't half as cool. Man, this a weapon, you don't have to blast the tube. Shorties lack knowledge, they at bad schools. Ain't have a penny for they thoughts, had bad food. Saying no drugs as if it's from Baton Rouge. Yet I smoke good, stay out of bad moods. Hopefully the good does outweigh the bad news. Don't shoot the messenger, return the sender. God's been in you since you entered mom's placenta. Listen to me, finna be a winner. Dictionary bars just saying what I meant to. This ain't rap. No, no, this ain't rap. No, this ain't rap. Just discussing the facts. Too many of us down where the fuck I'm at. This ain't rap. No, no, this ain't rap. No, no, this ain't rap. Just discussing the facts. Too many of us down where the fuck I'm at. Yeah. This ain't rap. Voice. Still facts though. Real black though.
You think you're listening to one thing. And then under a track so deep, especially if you have melanin, because they know it's very sensitive to vibrations of all kinds, they'll put in a counter melody or something that you don't want to hear. And while you're tuned to that you think you are hearing, because it's on a frequency with this what they call the subatomic brain, or what they want to call again the inner brain, the mind brain, it's appealing to it. Now that's really tricky and the hardest fashion you can. And the more relaxed, the more you can now pick up the other one, which is now suddenly being broadcast.
This is a traffic jam, traffic jam.
We out west with it, where we live illegal, leaning off a leader, riding regal, tipping scales like Libras. Inhale, no L's, pulling out blocks like Jenga. In the rear of a Caprice's Billy Rims, flicking decent nonetheless. Nothing less than tens for the speakers. You'll hear us before you see us with beats that beat the streets up. Yeah. So try and keep up and keep it low key, cuz police try and treat us and keep us on a leash, cuz that's how they see us, thinking we nuts. Cuz we'll die for the ground beneath us, because this land made us. This land made of players that stay on paper. That's how we came up amongst the mayhem to the day when we display what we made of. The game can never change us, the West Side teaches. On these streets where you find that D before G. We out west with it, back down, trying to flip a dollar. If you looking, then we got it, you just got up in a plot. We out west with it, riding clean, wetter than the sea. On the scene with a full tank, blowing AC. We out west with it, I'm posted, let me know what y'all on. Cause if y'all get on something, then just hit my phone. We out west with it, yes sir. Hustle for every penny in the trenches, but we turn struggle into strength. Smell the grind in the air, take a whiff. Only the nose knows the aroma. Compose the money rolls that fold up, holding cold cups. Searching for those that got the purple O's for the $4. And we can go nuts and stay at the stove like gross us, and post up with O's on the table like coasters. That's how the game coached us, made us all in the soldiers. Now that dough is the focus, so know that we own this. Molded by the hood role models, riding good, the latest model, drinking good, raising bottles like we just missed a pothole. You got to know that it's impossible to stop our flow. We've seen it all from watching cops reload 30s a dro while drinking the night away until the block got slow. You'll know as soon as you see us, we the ones laid back in the cut. My demeanor seems to always get me up. We out west with it, back down, trying to flip a dollar. If you looking, then we got it, you just got up in a plot. We out west with it, riding clean, wetter than the sea. On the scene with a full tank, blowing AC. We out west with it, I'm posted, let me know what y'all on. Cause if y'all get on something, then just hit my phone. We out west with it, yes sir. Hustle for every penny in the trenches, but we turn struggle into strength. Yeah, home of the survivor, survival of the fittest in the town. It's wicked, you can J down. In a minute, what am? What's the business? The biz is how you down and get it. From Cape Town, the fifth city, the sounds of fifths empty. When we tipsy is risky, where the lick be, at least 10 deep it tempts me. But there's no mystery where the chips be, the tips G. Just our history from the 60s. Pimpin' ain't easy, but we bleed it. This here game is in our veins, in the air we breathe in. Believe this, it's no game, but the key is your mouthpiece, spit your game. But believe, turn nothing into something. We suffer without supper long enough. Struggling from summer to summer, the same place where the dope is sold. It's home to the Oprah show, the same place I know is home. We out west with it, back down, trying to flip a dollar. If you looking, then we got it, you just got up in a plot. We out west with it, riding clean, wetter than the sea. On the scene with a full tank, blowing AC. We out west with it, I'm posted, let me know what y'all on. Cause if y'all get on something, then just hit my phone. We out west with it, yes sir, hustle for every penny in the trenches, but we turn struggle into
Dame Lillard, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
Hey, this is Jason Kidd, and we're rocking with the Bigs.
I'm Chris Bryant from the Chicago Cubs, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
This is Mark Cuban, Dallas Mavericks. You're rocking with the Bigs.
WIFTVPM. Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio, you're listening to The Bigs with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin.
Let's begin now.
What's going on, everybody? I hope you're enjoying your hump day. Happy Wednesday to everybody out there. It's officially time to jump back down on the soil. You're officially rocking with the Bigs. I'm your man T-Time, coming to you as usual with my player partner, Gino McIntosh. What's good, bro?
What's the Benoski?
I'm feeling good despite the circumstances.
Man, I'm on y'all heels today. So
we're going to get to that.
Oh, I'm on heels today.
Gino, I may have to have you pump your brakes.
Is it Uchi Wally or is it one mic today, man? I'm on y'all heels today. Ron Rilla, what up?
Is it Uchi Wally or is it one mic?
The thing with that is it's always usually it's both.
It's
is
usually
girl
both.
Pain or do shorty
owe you for ice? Man, hey, man,
Look,
I need answers today, bro.
Gino, you're going to have plenty of time.
I need answers today, T.
You're going to have plenty of time
right.
to go ahead and break it on down. I can't wait to get to that part of the show. But, man, I'm totally happy to be back down on the soil. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, wherever you're
Periscope, the Gram,
yes.
LinkedIn. I know they done created some other social TikTok.
Man.
I know they done created some other social media platform since we was here last on Monday. So if y'all watching on that
Clubhouse,
the house,
the Clubhouse feature on Twitter now, like
NBA Top Shot, y'all on. Hey man,
we'll get to that probably today or
we'll wait
later down the road.
We'll
dive into it.
Oh yeah,
yes sir.
Yeah.
But on that note, man, I hope everybody is doing good. Shout out to Ron. Thank you for holding us. I thank you in advance, bro.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Ron really got a new position, man. So now he done stepped his game up. He done stepped his.
It's only right when you step it up. Once the field is level, go ahead and raise the bar. Do your thing, Ron. Yes, sir. So, Gino, before we get to it, I know we usually check your temperature, but I definitely wanted to kick it off by talking for a minute about something I saw yesterday, man, and we had a chance to talk about when we linked up last night on the yard. That's our thing. But Roland Martin had a YouTube live about the state of black media, and it featured two ladies that we've had the opportunity to work with, Tiffany Walden and Morgan Elise from the Tribe, the co-founders of the Tribe. They were part of the conversation. But I feel like anytime it's a conversation with guys like Roland Martin, who I know has paid his dues when it comes to black media, and some of the other people that were on the panel, I'm always interested because I feel like at least for me, this journey started because I embraced and kind of fell in love with the history of black media, especially here in Chicago, man. We were talking about the Chicago Defender and the origins of how they became prominent. And just even in my childhood, like, of course, I feel like everybody here has some kind of memory about picking up a Defender or going to some type of,
all day,
going to the Bud or something like that and seeing the Defender. So they always had a prestigious place. Black media always had a prestigious place, and now has a piece of my heart after working for the Defender. Blood, sweat, and tears, and a lot more than that's went into it. And I feel like one of the battles that we face behind the scenes when we're not covering, you know what I mean, games and talking to athletes and things like that, is putting the pieces together, becoming a fully functional media outlet. And that was the topic of conversation with Roland Martin. Gino, you got a chance to tune in a little bit later in that conversation. But man, some of the things they talked about were great. He had Byron Allen on there talking about the new lawsuit he has out against the advertising agency for discriminating against black media. And for those that don't know, I think most of our listeners know who Byron Allen is, especially after the Viacom lawsuit that he had, and when he was on the Breakfast Club and everything, breaking that down. He has a new lawsuit against the advertising agency. And I feel like for anybody that knows anything about black media, they know that getting advertising dollars is more than a task, man. And it really boils down to these corporations know how important advertising dollars are to the existence of black media, and they bleed it. You know what I mean? So now it's a war. So, man, it was a very insightful conversation. I think I may throw the link in the comments.
That would be good.
Yeah, I got to throw the link in the comments so everybody can take a look at it. But, man, it caught my attention, and I've been thinking about it all day, you know?
Yeah, expound on it, man. Like you said, I caught up when we was on StreamYard, and you told me what you was doing over there. I tuned in myself, so I caught in. I touched down a little bit later, and I was going in and out because I was doing something simultaneously. So I had my ear to it. I was actually watching on my phone as I was doing something on my computer, so I was like multitasking, but I had my ear to what was going on. I missed Tiff and Morgan though.
Okay.
But yeah,
and they really represented the new school of black media.
Right.
But man, they talked about that BET deal. You know what I mean? And it went for $3 billion, but it was actually worth $10 billion, and the black tax that these ad agencies hold on black media companies, and this is what went down with BET. So they were getting $1,200, $1,300 a spot, right?
Meaning
they were paying ad agencies were paying BET $1,200, $1,300 to put their commercials on BET,
regardless of time slot, or did it vary?
30-second spot. I'm sure it varied, but that was like the basic
medium
rate of what they were getting from ad agencies, right?
Okay.
For the same spot.
$1,200.
$1,200, $1,300, G, for the same spot. MTV and VH1 were getting $8,000.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which factored into BET's evaluation and took them down from like $10 billion, which is what they would have been worth if they were getting the same rates as MTV and VH1, down to like $2.5, $3 billion, which it ended up going for. And they talked about how the consensus when that came out, people were celebrating, but it was really a very sad day for black media because BET went for not even close to what it was really worth.
So how do they combat that?
That was the topic, and the answer was now it's time to put people on blast. It's time to fight and
now how long dog?
It's been forever.
Thank you,
But
man.
see, now they also talked about some of the wounds are self-inflicted.
Okay.
You know, and that black media, where they failed at is keeping up with
the time,
how people take in their media.
And that's something we talk about all the time.
It's been our fight for 5 years, at least from the sports, from the teams, because when it comes to who they allow to cover, all they're used to is the traditional, I put out a paper, y'all got a deadline kind of thing. But see, now when it comes to black media, it is completely phased out of that. Black media don't even produce hard copies of the paper anymore. You know what I mean?
But
like they get their stuff through social media.
Right, but who shoots for black, like what franchises or what organizations, and we're just talking about sports because we cover sports. I mean, now it's become popular over the last year and a half or two. Now it's black. As you see, I'm representing my Southern University Jaguars. Shout out to my family members in Baton Rouge. But it's become, as we saw with the NBA and their glowing, whatever you want to call it, for HBCUs and for the black voice and black awareness, it's become very popular to Black Lives Matter. And that's a whole nother subject we can talk about in a whole nother broadcast.
Facts, but the HBCU trend is
definitely,
it's
becoming, you know, it's blowing up. So I'm saying, as far as black media is concerned, so I really don't know where I'm trying to go here. It's like, obviously they're not shooting for black media. Like that's not their...
Exactly. It is a predominantly white industry, and they value whiteness. You know what I mean? And that is why it's tough to get black dollars. You know what I mean? I remember when I was at the Defender, Muggs had to fight to get what's that, Mariano's, and they was just moving over there on 47th, and they had to fight to get some advertising dollars from them. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you're gonna do this, but are you really invested in the community? And because the Defender is right down the street.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or for McDonald's wasn't easy. You know what I mean? It's the major corporations do not care.
But that's the thing. They can say that they invest in the black community just by throwing a couple dollars here and there or popping up here and there. But at the end of the day, we know we're not the target audience. So like you said, we have a huge grasp on, especially Chicago. Chicago is like, okay, Atlanta is like the home of blackness, but Atlanta is like a third, Atlanta's like an eighth of Chicago population-wise. But the black community, as far as sports are concerned, we have a huge grasp on the way the black community consumes their information, especially sports-wise in the city. And like you said, and like I said, we're not the target audience, so I don't think they even care about hitting that specific audience, because it's like, hey, man, they'll find their way, as we've done forever. The Defender, like you said, when I was growing up, I looked forward to my great-grandmother, going in my great-grandmother's room on Saturday night and picking up the Defender off her dresser and just reading through. And I'm like, man, I didn't realize what it was back then, but now that you were managing editor over there, we had a partnership for a couple years with them, and now I understood what the Defender meant to us over 100 years.
Oh, man. And I feel like you know more than most people how entrenched my routine was.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I do.
But it was because I loved it. You know what I mean? It's because I can't even do nothing I don't love. You know what I mean? That's a secret about me.
And again, knowing what I know now, what I didn't know as a kid, just seeing that Chicago Defender, I knew that was ours. I didn't know to the extent of it. I didn't know that they were 75 years in.
Yeah.
And now that, again,
a rich
we had
history. Now look at Jet, look at Ebony.
Right.
You know what I mean? One of Tiffany's points was that I think she was at Jet or Ebony. Excuse me if I'm mixing up one of the two. It was one of those. But when she was there, she saw everybody getting laid off and basically the brand deteriorating. You know what I mean? And that's what inspired her to start the Tribe. And I feel like that is the reasonable next step for the next generation of leaders in black media. It's about, you know what I mean, who's going to rise from the ashes, and I feel like the Tribe is there. We walk hand in hand or, shoulder to shoulder with people that are on the same grind, and I feel like we know where this is going to be in a couple of years. And I feel like we have to stay fighting. What Roland Martin said about it's time to call people out, and your response is like, it's been time to call people out. That's the point.
They've never called, as far as this is concerned, if these people have never been called out.
See now, what is being called out,
exactly.
Man, and that's the conversation with there, and it's about you have to completely not support these people who are not supporting you. You know what I mean? Who cares about the Grammys? Who cares about all that other stuff?
Right.
Don't support it. Because they're gonna minimize and marginalize you, make you seem like your art is not worth what it's really worth.
Right.
So why even support it? That's where the conversation went. So it was an interesting watch.
But I'm saying even if we don't support the Grammys, does that really affect the Grammys?
I mean, even
because do we support the? I mean, why by tuning in?
Tuning in, but even hosting it, artists participating in it. I mean, all of that, the web of that.
So how you gonna tell Lil Baby not to perform at the Grammys when he's nominated for a Grammy?
You can't save everybody, right?
Hov was there,
and I feel like in his music he's openly criticized the Grammys. You know what I mean? And it's like all for naught. But see, that was the question. It's like, yeah, Hov and B still there. So yeah, you're going to get the viewers.
Our president and first lady,
Trevor Noah. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know if we really claim him.
I think people do. You know what I mean? But that's why I'm like, yeah, even he's hosting it. Because even if we don't claim him, the Grammys is saying they had a black host this year. You know what I mean? And Trevor Noah, even if Muggs don't claim him. So,
well, I'm with you, bro. I'm with whatever we got to do to put these people on blast, and with us being in the trenches and on the front lines of the topic of Roland Martin's YouTube.
I think of course that's why it was so good.
Right.
I was texting you like, man, I've been saying that to these teams for 5 years,
And that's what I'm saying. They don't care. That's not their in their.
They're like, huh?
Yeah, huh? Man, I got 2 kids to feed, and I'm just doing what they tell me to do, bro.
That's what it comes down to. So, man, the fight rage is on. I mean, I know I got a good partner on my side. You know what I mean? And so when I got to wield my sword, I know.
Yeah, I'm not going.
You know what I mean? So, but it's definitely people out there that I feel like need to know that this is the state of black media. I mean, and don't get discouraged to jump out of the game. It's a lot of talent. It's a lot of talent out there.
And like we talked about, one of our, and we're not gonna name names, but we've seen what black media and the lack of support does to these upcoming artists.
Facts.
It discourages them.
Man.
They want to quit. They want to give up immediately. And we know that, I mean, nothing comes overnight. Nothing worth it comes overnight. But just seeing, again, the lack of support and the lack of funding and the lack of just overall, man, when you you said, when you look at MTV, that's unbelievable,
quick
bro.
In black media.
8,000 versus 1,200.
Bruh.
That's unbelievable.
That's real life.
And where, like,
and BET had 106th in part. You know what I mean? Just like MTV had TRL. You know what I mean? They had it, but
those are 2 totally different audiences. TRL and 106 in Park.
What did Ho say, Ron? He say, I can get you BET and TRL too.
TRL too.
Come on, so. On that note, man, that was just what was on my mind this morning.
Right.
Let's jump into the first break because that ain't all that was on my mind this morning, Gino.
Oh, man.
We got to talk about the Bears. We'll be right back on the soil.
Yep.
WIFTBPM. Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out Chicago Legal Network. More information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Dame Lillard, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
Hey, this is Jason Kidd, and we're rocking with the Bigs.
I'm Chris Bryant from the Chicago Cubs, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
This is Mark Cuban, Dallas Mavericks. You're rocking with the Bigs.
My brothers and sisters. My brothers and sisters. Yeah, no bullshit at the pulpit with questions for the reverend, like why I gotta die to go to heaven, or are these lies and deception a sign of what's next, to deny my progression to my soul through my spirit from my mind and my flesh. You be hard pressed to alter my perspective. It's reflective of my perception. All the lives and the tribes that's affected, dying quick, effects from environments neglected, disconnected, disrespected. This the same section we never invest in. Our own sales from our own shells, become owners on our own, they get on with our own help. Yeah, creators of our own. Communicate, we accumulated our own wealth. Created in this image, so when I say it, I meant it. Do the science for yourself. My brothers and sisters, we ain't niggas and bitches. My brothers and sisters, we ain't niggas and bitches. Can you dig that though? And I put this on my mama, Black Madonna, Mother Earth, Mother Africa. I'm honored to be a part of where it started, selling Starbird through the stars, stardust on my starship. My heartbeat is godly. I'm the light harness from the darkest part of darkness. Such a godsend. I teach my son to treat your daughter like a goddess. I teach my daughter to treat your son like a god king. I can never deny my fate. My melanated skin tells my story every day. Fortunately, my fortune awaits. Majority of the world, minority in the States. Yeah, we blossom from the concrete. The world copies what they see, then mocks my mystique. The possibilities impossible to see. The ways of Western man can match the prophets of the East. My brothers and sisters, we ain't niggas and bitches. Sister, young queen, supreme beings. All you gotta do is believe it.
Y'all niggas, and you gon' be niggas forever, just like us, niggas. You're not niggas.
What's going on, everybody? We are back down on the soil. Getting ready to play a couple of things we want you to hear before we jump into the conversation. But, Gino, I mean, everybody knows the news at this point.
Hey, man, look. That's really all I got to say, man.
By the end of the conversation, I know I'm going to have something to ask you. I feel like we're getting something together with a video. But, man, it's the Bears again, man. I feel like the Bears signed the same guy that they've had for the last, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years. You feel me? So, on that end, it's impossible to even be excited about anything that has to do with the Bears right now. But the fallout from what happened yesterday, man, I just feel like it's time for Bears fans to face some facts. And I feel like that's what the conversation is going to be about today. Gino, you've been saying you got the chopper ready for the people. What's on your mind, though?
Bears fans are meatheads. Bears fans are meatheads.
Gino.
Bears fans are meatheads.
Time out, man. So, Ryan Pace has signed Mike Glennon.
Hold on.
Traded for Mitchell Trubisky. Traded for Nick Foles. And now signed Andy Dalton. And your issue is with the fans?
In the Ryan Pace era, the quarterbacks have been
Booty,
Jay Cutler, Jimmy Clausen, Brian Hoyer, Matt Barkley,
Huff,
Mike Glennon, Mitchell, Chase Daniel, Nick Foles, and now Andy Dalton.
Absolutely disgusting. Yeah, I mean, an absolutely disgusting roster of quarterbacks when it comes to the Chicago
Miriam,
Bears.
I got time today, sweetheart. I definitely got time today.
But see, now, what is your issue with the fans? I gotta know.
Fam, when was the last time the Bears, bro? It's been 36 years since the Bears won the Super Bowl. They've made one Super Bowl appearance since then.
And have really had no quarterbacks that most teams would want. You know what I mean? Here's why I'm not tripping on the fans. Is because every year the Bears find a new low. You feel me?
That's why y'all. I'm putting you in this today, man. And I'm a Bears fan, but I'm not a meathead. You're a meathead, Joe, because y'all actually thought Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson had a chance to come to Chicago.
That's where you're wrong, Gino. Because no, I never did.
Okay.
But any good organization would have got this done. My issue with y'all is that y'all are the ones accepting this mediocrity. We cannot just breeze at this, G. Like, fans should have wanted Russell Wilson. Fans should have. I don't blame fans for wanting Russell Wilson.
I agree.
For a fan base that never had a quarterback, of course you're going to want Russell Wilson.
Bro.
Or just a good quarterback. I don't blame fans for that.
Why?
I blame the front office for being one of the worst organizations in all the sports. And delivering trash year in and year out.
So why did y'all expect anything different this year?
It wasn't about what was expected. We've seen this team trade for Khalil Mack.
Oh, who is Khalil Mack?
At the time, he was, number 2 defensive player in the league. You can't discount what that was.
Yes, I can.
And what he gave up for.
I don't care what
he gave up multiple first-round picks.
Did they give up? Is Khalil Mack the face of the franchise quarterback? Black.
That's the issue, though. The issue is that it doesn't matter how good your defense is, because if you don't have a quarterback in this league, your team is nothing. And the Bears are the only team in the NFL that never gets it right. Even the Giants.
We've seen a couple of teams win the Super Bowl with a Huff QB.
See, that's the another issue with Bears fans. We are so addicted to trying to win a Super Bowl that way.
How? Are we addicted to trying to win a Super Bowl that way?
That is the only way the Bears have ever been position to win is with a superior defense and a subpar offense.
The year they went to the Super Bowl, who was the quarterback? Rex Grossman?
Grossman.
Did Kyle Orton play most of the, what happened? I don't even remember.
It was
so
Grossman
long
and Kyle
ago.
Orton played, but see, that don't even matter because it was one of the best defenses that the Bears have had since then, since '85, and they had Devin Hester.
Exactly.
Yeah,
A game changer.
Both of those aspects of the game were more effective than the actual offense.
But Jay Cutler was an above average NFL quarterback when we got him.
He was. And you gave him Brandon Marshall. Now, see, at the same time,
Brandon Marshall was on that team?
This is with Jay Cutler. This is the Jay Cutler
era.
All
right, I said Rex Grossman. My bad.
This is the Jay Cutler era.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the issue, and I want you to get that off, but I feel like the biggest issue, even because the fans are packing their bags.
Ain't no fans. Y'all say this every year. Man, I'm done with the Bears. Man, soon as week 1 come, bear down, Joe. Everybody got their orange and blue on with their Scullies and they 50 and they Mike Singletary and Walter Payton jerseys on. Some guys who played in '85.
I feel like everything has its limits, G. And did you see the reaction to Andy Dalton yesterday?
Of course I did. But this is the same reaction we had when they signed Nick Foles. Same reaction they had
exactly.
So all I'm saying is why did y'all, bro? First of all, let me get this off. The Bears are lying.
You see now, I don't think the average Bears fan thought they were going to get Russell Wilson.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. I feel like more people thought that this was a situation of Chicago being a crutch for an athlete trying to get some leverage again. We've seen it with Kobe. You know what I mean? We seen it with top free agents over and over again. We know the script. Is anybody surprised that after they don't get Russell Wilson, that now the narrative is we tried?
Oh, I'm not going off that.
It is right out of the Chicago
I'm not going off that.
playbook.
Ryan Pace should have been fired immediately after they hired and signed Andy Dalton. He should have been fired ASAP.
He should have been fired like 2 years into the Trubisky.
I agree.
With 6 years into.
I agree.
6 years with Trubisky.
But he should have really been fired after they couldn't get Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson.
See, now here's the truth, though. And I don't care who, you know what I mean? I've seen some people disagree, G. This day was on its way. The day they took Mitch Trubisky over Deshaun Watson.
Period.
The best quarterback that they would have ever had in their entire football history.
Period.
And the issue that's really like bothers me, Joe, is that when it's right in your face like that, and you miss out on it, ain't hair supposed to roll? This man Ryan Pace had 3 or 4 quarterbacks since then, G.
Bro, I do think the Bears are that stupid, but I also smell a little bit of the Jim Crow era around there.
AKA the NFL stench. Because and see now, on that front, every team in the NFL, and see that's the other issue. How if the Bears are like if racism is what is making these decisions, do you mean to tell me they're the only racist team in the NFL?
Oh no.
These other teams ain't letting racism stop them from winning some games.
Hey, the Bears win 8-8 this year and made the playoffs.
The video we were trying to play was Doug Buffon, former Bear.
Can we bring it up? Let's see if let's
Doug Buffon, R.I.P. Doug Buffon. This is a video from 2014 where he completely nailed it about the Bears. See if we can get it to play real quick.
When it's all said and done with, I think it's time to burn the forest down. But here's the problem. Here is a damn problem. Will it happen again? You burn it down. You get rid of everything. Does it happen again? And this is where the fault is. The fault is with the Bear organization. The Bear organization is a loser. They hire losers. And they try to put gravy on bad meat to make it taste better. You know, this is not easy for me to say,
Like
guys.
before the
'cause
Industrial
I put 14
Revolution.
years in
Oh,
that,
man.
with that team. But I
Good
remember in
old
14
tomato
years,
ketchup.
I can't tell you how many times I sat down
on a steak.
after a practice, after a game with Butkus, and we talked about what was wrong with the team.
And
we
honestly,
never said
Gino,
whatever, we never went public with
that's
it.
the issue.
The coaches were terrible. The
We
players
can
they
go
brought
ahead
in
and cut
terrible.
it.
But yet again, we kept
It's
thinking,
really-
oh boy, next year.
We'll play the first part
next
again.
year.
Is, yo, the
Butkus
Bears are
got
losers.
cheated.
Let's run it
Butkus
back.
got cheated. When it's all said and done with, I think it's time to burn the forest down. But here's the problem. Here is a damn problem. Will it happen again? You burn it down. You get rid of everything. Does it happen again? And this is where the fault is. The fault is with the Bear organization. The Bear organization is a loser. They hire losers. And they try to put gravy on bad meat to make it taste better. You know, this is not easy for me to say, guys, because I put 14 years in that with that team. But I remember in 14 years, I can't tell you how many times I sat down after a practice, after a game with Butkus, and we talked about what was wrong with the team. We never said, we never went public with it. The coaches were terrible. The players they brought in terrible. But yet again, we kept thinking, oh boy, next year.
Oh boy, next year.
And
Meathead Bears fans, man.
See, that's why I feel like the consensus of Bears fans didn't know or didn't expect Russell Wilson to come, because that was 2014. Yeah, I mean that piece of audio was from 2014. Yeah, I mean, and
the start of Ryan Pace.
The start, but see, now that's who the Bears have been even before Ryan.
I
Pace.
agree.
And part of Ryan Pace's issue is that he hasn't been able to change things. You know what I mean? He hasn't been able to put a stick in the ground and say, now things are going in a different direction. It's the same old Bears BS. So now here's what I want to warn Bears fans of, because I heard something before I came in, Gino, that scared me. Okay? Adam Schefter got on ESPN and said that he doesn't think the Russell Wilson saga is over.
Meaning what?
Saying that closer to draft day, Seattle may be more inclined to trade him because they're going in the opposite direction. They're saying that the problem with the Bears package, which I think is BS. I don't want to hear about a package after you didn't get the guy, but they said that it was no respectable quarterback to throw into the package. And then he said on TV that maybe Dalton can be a piece of a trade package now. And I'm like, you see, now you've brought me into like, in a level of T and Gene, you've brought me up to like the Gene levels. Because I'm like, gee, it's going to get worse. It is not going to get better. They may lose some players and say that they're trying to save some money. I saw them talking about they got to make a decision on Kyle Fuller.
Come on, dog.
They may get to save $11 million if they cut him.
This
today.
is Ryan Pace and his idiot's logic that he's used. Bro, Robert Quinn?
See, now here's the Andy Dalton issue real quick. Oh, my. Andy Dalton was available last year for $3 million.
Yes, he was, bro.
They ended up signing him yesterday for $10 million after he finished the season hurt.
After all the Cowboys needed to do was win one game out of the last 4, and he couldn't do that with better offensive weapons than we have in Chicago.
We don't even have to compare. Just Ezekiel Elliott,
Come on,
Amari
dog.
Cooper.
Come on, dog.
CeeDee Lamb, who's going to be a number 1 receiver
Come
over
on,
there.
dog.
Michael Gallup,
Come on,
who's
dog.
top 2
Come on.
on anybody's team.
Come on, man.
You know what I mean? And he did the minimum with that, and he's coming with far less here.
Have
you know
you
what I mean?
seen Andy Dalton's playoff record and stats?
I did not. The only numbers I got a chance to look at, because the Bears, of course, they got the Bill Lazor, who was the offensive coordinator for the Bears. That correlation between Bill Lazor and Andy Dalton, he was in Cincinnati when they were there together, and I think they only averaged 18 points a game. You know, so I don't even have to look at Andy Dalton's playoff stats. I know the Bengals didn't do anything.
You don't.
You know, so
Andy Dalton is not better than Mitch Trubisky.
Ooh, now, Gino.
No.
You know how I feel. But see, now, to your point about the meathead Bears, you don't feel sorry for them at all?
At all.
You don't feel sorry
At
for
all.
them at all?
At all.
You don't think they deserve better?
No.
They don't deserve better?
Oh, Bears
they
fans,
totally
you get
do.
Bears fans, look me dead in my eyes. I don't know what.
Gino, are you a Bears fan?
The Bears are my least favorite Chicago team.
But are you a Bears fan?
Of course I am. I'm a Chicago fan.
You deserve better.
I don't care though. But I know that I'm not getting better. So I don't look forward to it, bruh. Y'all looked forward to, dude, y'all entertained the Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson talk for the last couple months. This is a team who had the chance to draft Deshaun Watson.
I did not entertain the Deshaun. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll leave you out of this.
But see, I don't even feel like the Bears have acknowledged that Deshaun Watson is out there. Like, and then to even stretch it further, why would Deshaun?
There you go. Y'all had the chance to bring me in.
Already be on.
Come on, bro.
You know what I mean?
Jim Crow era. You guys decide on a guy who played 11 career games as a starter at the University of North Carolina over a kid who played in consecutive national championship games and won one.
Versus some of the toughest college defenses of all time. You know what I mean?
They're that stupid, but it also reeks of Jim Crow.
I don't know if you can be that stupid without some hint of racism, okay? You cannot be that stupid. You cannot look at Mitch Trubisky and Deshaun Watson and think that Mitch Trubisky is the better quarterback without first thinking not the black quarterback.
So this was the thing yesterday. So people keep coming down my timeline. Man, y'all act like they didn't have Cordell Stewart. Or what was the other dude? Henry Burris.
Jason
Campbell. I said, hey, man, I'm old enough to go back even further and tell you their best black quarterback, Vince Evans. But you know what none of those 4 black quarterbacks were? Faces of the franchise.
Just see now, Tom Brady was available last year.
Tom Brady was not stepping foot. I don't care if they offer him the world.
No.
Tom Brady was not stepping foot in Chicago.
Why do you think that?
The word gets around, bro.
Exactly. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's beyond, like, them not getting a good black quarterback.
I
they
agree.
don't get good white quarterbacks.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
If it was a good Mexican quarterback out there, they wouldn't want him.
Well, for obvious reasons.
You have to be Huff to be on the Bears' radar. You know what I mean? And see now, and this is what I feel like Bears fans got to realize. G. I know Chicago is what? Number 3 city, you know, as far as markets go.
Yeah.
But the teams are smaller than that. They operate on a smaller scale, G. They can't get a good quarterback because it's just the Bears ain't on that. It's not about winning football games here. You know what I mean? So as long as that's the case, you can say forget any good quarterback. You know what I mean? And what I'm scared of is that they're going to draft a quarterback that they're going to tell Bears fans to attach their hopes and dreams to.
Who's the Ted Phillips? Is that his name?
Yes.
He's Ryan Pace's boss?
Yes.
Hey, Ted Phillips, if you don't fire Ryan, the draft is in like approximately 5.5 weeks. If you don't fire Ted Phillips, I know you watching on the soil right now from your office at the top of Hallis Hall. If you don't fire Ryan Pace before this draft and y'all let this dude ruin another Bears draft pick, I'm really done.
Gino, I feel like we got to go back to the Deshaun Watson, you dig. You know what I mean? Because that's the situation that I'm completely hung up on. I've heard them say things about Andy Dalton already that make me, it goes back to Deshaun Watson and them passing up on it and why they did that. They said Andy Dalton because he completes big plays. They don't need a dinker and a dunker. Well, if you don't think Deshaun Watson has an arm, You know what I mean? If you don't think Deshaun Watson is the type of quarterback that's a big play quarterback, you did not watch him at all.
I still think that thought about black quarterbacks still exists. The same thing they said about
100%.
Randall,
Just look
Warren,
look at Lamar
Jamarcus,
Jackson.
all of
and this man won MVP, but don't forget they were trying to tell him he was a wide receiver.
Like 10 months before that.
And this dude is a two-time Heisman winner. Yeah, but should have won the Heisman twice.
But they're still saying that. Remember, after this year, they're still saying that Lamar Jackson is not a pocket quarterback.
While he's throwing to a dude, his number one receiver is my height.
Shout
out
know
to
who
Hollywood Brown.
Well, you know who he is, right? Because that's your new team.
Gino, I mean, the Bears, I feel like, have proved that until changes are made at the top, this is what the expectation is, an 8-8 level football team. They'll get lucky every, 7, 8, 9 years and lose in the first round of the playoffs.
Fool the fan base, have them thinking, man, next year.
So,
hey,
then you look at Cam Newton. They weren't in favor of paying Cam Newton the minimum, and they gave Andy Dalton $10 million, G. And Cam had all these questions around his health that Andy Dalton, for some reason, does not have. Like, how many times has Andy Dalton been hurt?
So check this out. Sadiq says drafting quarterbacks is not an exact science. If it was, Pat Mahomes would have been taken first overall.
That's 100%. But see, now my point is the Bears are the only team that never gets it right. And that's what I was going to say in the middle of the conversation. Every team lucks up on somebody. The Chargers, Justin Herbert. The Giants get Eli Manning.
Bam. No one but the Bears were going to move up a spot in the draft to take Mitch Trubisky over a guy who had proven his worth as a quarterback coming into the league. Only the Bears would pull that dumb move.
That's the issue.
I agree with you 100%, 100%, Sadiq, but can't get over that one. I'm not letting that one ride. And like you said, that's the reason why we're here today talking about Andy Dalton. Because 4 years ago, they decided to take Mitch Trubisky. They thought they were ahead of the curve. And I fought Ted Phillips. Ryan Pace is an idiot. But I also think Matt Nagy is whack. He's supposed to be this offensive guru. He couldn't unlock Mitch Trubisky.
At all.
So they 33.3% to all of them, bro.
So it's like, and is that just, do the Bears, are they the only team that thinks they got to unlock these people they drafted? You know what I mean? It's like, can you tell me who unlocked, you know what I mean, Deshaun or Pat Mahomes? You know what I mean? Like
the national championship. Patrick Mahomes' daddy did a bid in Major League Baseball. Pat Mahomes could have been a Major League Baseball player if he wanted.
Just loser talk. You know what I mean? It's just loser talk. That's what loser organizations and coaches say. Now Matt Nagy has Andy Dalton to play with. You know, he didn't want Deshaun Watson or any other good quarterback that could have been here. They said no to Cam. And even if you think he's up, they said no to every black quarterback that came their way. Jacoby Brissett, who's been proven.
Did they even look at Teddy Bridgewater? Why?
Well, Teddy's up.
Why didn't they go for Jameis?
Well, Jameis said no to him, and see that's
why did Jameis say no to him?
Like I
said,
is
Sean Payton that?
Because the Bears are little guys.
Sean Payton is that wicked though.
And why would I leave Sean Payton and the Saints?
I agree.
To go to some little guys.
The Chicago Bears, bro.
Ryan Fitzpatrick went to the Washington football team.
A team with no mascot.
Because the Bears are little guys. Why would I go play for Matt Nagy and them? Well, I can go play for Ron Rivera or Sean Payton, you know, reigning coaches of the year. And yes, Matt Nagy is a reigning coach. You know what I mean? His one coach of the year. But man, was that a facade.
It was telling.
Oh, my God. What else? You know, should we take some questions from the people in the next?
Yeah,
in
we
the
need
next segment.
We need to take a break. When we come back on the other side, we can continue.
Gino
this.
called me a meathead Bears fan.
Hey man, I had to lump you in with the rest of them. I see a few of them in the comments too. I'm not letting y'all live. Y'all are family members. I love y'all like my blood family. But y'all are meatheads, man. Bears fans, y'all are the worst fans in Chicago sports. On that note,
I can't be grouped in with the people that cheered for Mitch. Bro.
All right, I'm gonna let you. I cheered for Mitch, but that's because I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, cheer for Nick Foles?
No.
Don't cheer for nobody.
Yes, which was kind of my angle.
Ron Rilla, please take us to break. You're on the soil, man.
WIFTDPM. Everybody's talking about the all-new Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish. Place your order today for a delicious meal. The chicken and fish are fried to perfection, featuring a wide variety of catfish, perch, tilapia, whiting, and shrimp. Now it's your turn to see what everybody's talking about. It's the all-new Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish, Chicago's newest spot for delicious meals. Stop by at 2537 South Wabash in the South Loop, or get contactless delivery from DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates. For more info, call 773-807-9010. 773-807-9010. Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish is open just in time for lunch. Or take it to the house for a delicious dinner. It's Chicago's new spot for perfectly fried chicken and fish. Don't wait any longer. Try it today. Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish. 2537 South Wabash in the South Loop. Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish.
This is Tori Muhammad, and we want you to tune in to the Tori Muhammad Show that airs here on What's in It for the Black People Media every Monday and Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We talk and celebrate Black-owned businesses, Black entrepreneurs, and we talk to some of the best people in the food industry here in Chicago, Black chefs, Black restaurateurs. So make sure that you tune in to us every Monday and Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at The Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at The Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
This is it. Day one. The red letter edition. Big Luda. We can chop it up, get our profits up, get this dust. If you just rotate with me, yeah. It's not a song, I'm trying to put you on to what I'm on, yeah. Before I finish breathing, I'm moving the masses like minister speeches, penning classics as I finish my thesis. Not a pastor or a preacher, my passion is deeper. Rapper / teacher, trying to master the teachings past the sinister streets and moving bags past the police is speeding fast in the evening. The truth is it's all about eating, but I'm feeding food for thought for those either fasting or feasting. Putting faith in my beliefs when I'm speaking, looking straight till I'm decent, at peace with no fear, believing it's real. I tell them it's heaven, but it's hard when you talking to niggas with no ears. From clouds of chronic coughing and sessions off, walking and stressing, straight lost in the essence. I pause for a second with my thoughts and reflections. I take my losses as lessons, but it's all just a blessing, and that's the mess. We can chop it up, get our profits up, get this dust. If you just rotate with me, yeah, it's not a song. I'm trying to put you on to what I'm on. If you just rotate with me, yeah, we can chop it up, get our profits up, get this dust. If you just rotate with me, yeah, it's not a song. I'm trying to put you on to what I'm on. If you just rotate with me, in an instant, friendships in quick in the music business. It used to be just music, now it's just business. The relentless pursuit for loot, dividends and interest, hidden agendas, leaving you defenseless against them.
We are back on the soil. Enjoying the beautiful sounds of McLuder, man. One of the coldest, Gino.
You hear ML, man. Just rotate with me. We can chop it up, get our profits up, get this dust. Yeah. Just rotate with me.
I'm rotating, Joe. Let's get it.
It's not a song. I'm trying to put y'all on to what I'm on. If you just rotate with me.
No, I feel that. No, I feel that.
Hey, man, shout out to everybody tuned in on the soil with the brothers, man. We appreciate the family members. But you know I got to drop the science, man. We need y'all to smash that like button, smash that share button, hit the comment section as you guys always do. Join the conversation. And, man, continue to help us push the content and the culture forward, man. Y'all heard the conversation that started the day off, man. Roland Martin was talking about the black voice. And, man, it's all about owning this voice, but that's not the only thing, man. We got to learn to support each other. We are all we got out here, and if we don't help each other, then we doomed, man.
Hey, tell a friend about what's going on over here.
Man, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, man. Share the broadcast. Put somebody else on to the illest sports talk, to the illest independent sports media outlet in the land. And we got our boy Ron Rilla holding us down behind the board. So it's a beautiful thing over here, man. Shout out to the What's in It for the Black People Media family, the network. You know, we got our boy Herb Howard up next. Cousin 2 is off in the wind in Texas trying to do him and come back, you know, bigger and better. So I said what I said. Up next, 3 to 6 every day on the network. But right now, you are rocking on the soil with the bigs.
Gino, did you have any last thoughts on the Chicago Bears and Andy Dalton?
Hey, Bears fans, y'all are meatheads. And I just got one question for you, man. Is it Uchi Wally or is it one Mike?
I'm tired of being a fan, being part of a fan
hey,
base.
Somebody in the comments. Somebody in the comments, just answer. Is it Uchi Wally or is it one Mike? All I need to see. I just want to see Uchi Wally or one Mike. Let me know in the comments.
You see what the Bears do, man. We over here battling amongst ourselves. I thought that was over. You know, with the Bulls and everything. And it's the same thing on the Bears, Bears Nation right now. Look, don't fall for the okie doke. You know, I do feel Gene on that. Don't let this Russell Wilson talk linger into the draft. And then don't even have an opinion on draft picks this year. Let's take a new approach.
I can't wait till the draft. I'm like,
let's not talk Bears till after week 1. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Miriam.
Unless they make, unless they make another move at quarterback. I mean, if they go into camp with Andy Dalton.
Man, I don't think Andy Dalton is the final move.
I read an article from a guy that I know knows. He says, don't get it twisted. Andy Dalton was brought here to be the starter. So.
Thank you, brother.
On that note.
That means, in the words of Miriam Frost, it's Uchi Wally.
I can't even do it. I feel bad for Bears fans. I mean, I feel bad for Bears fans that they have a team that's probably going to find a way to talk about 1985 next year. You know what I mean? Find a way to say, oh, we're right there knocking at the door. And that's the worst thing. Those 8-8 seasons, bruh, I would rather the Bears go, 4-12 than to have another 8-8 season.
Football hell.
Where the guys just spend every single week saying, oh, we're right on the doorstep. If a couple of plays go this or that way, we're this, we're that. Like, no, y'all are trash. Y'all are going to stay trash. And I do hope Bears fans act accordingly.
Hey, Ted Phillips, I'm going to tell you one last time. And this is my last comment on the Bears for today. If you don't fire Ryan Pace in the next 5.5 weeks.
Ooh, not happening.
I might show up at your doorstep.
They got a better chance of getting Russell Wilson. Okay. They got a better chance of getting Russ, bro. Okay.
I might send Flores and Delini to his doorstep, bro.
Ooh. You don't want to see Flores at your doorstep. You may be sleeping with the fishes after that, okay? On that note, where are the greener pastures in Chicago sports? Like, where do we go from that?
April 1st.
And even then, it's like, what? I mean, the White Sox are really the only team with any kind of.
Oh, come on now.
And see now, and that's probably my issue. I'm glad you said that. That's probably my issue with the Bears fans are meatheads, because Cubs fans are also meatheads.
Cubs fans are supreme meatheads. What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
and it's absolutely no way that I'm like looking at the Cubs like they're like a title contender.
But baseball is so much different than football. And at least the Cubs have won the World Series. Now, it was 108 years. Let's not get that twisted. But at least with the new regime, at least with Theo, show some promise, bro. He said 5 years, it happened in 4. Things haven't been so good the last 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
They won a division last year. Again, Chris Bryant, Javi Baez, Anthony Rizzo, Jay Hay, Wilson Contreras. They're still
what
here,
happened
bro.
in the first round? Yeah, I mean
Nothing.
Exactly.
Absolutely nothing.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, and I feel like that's why I'm not excited about the Cubs. But I feel like the mood there is they got to prove it to people, and that is the case. The Cubs got to prove it to their fan base again that they are those guys. You know what I mean? Because just like you said, baseball is different. But see now, when Muggs slumping, like when you go this many years, it's like, man, how many people really come back to form after spending years like below? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that this is who they are, but I'm saying it the next time that they're good or these individual players are good, may be on another team. And that is more of what I'm wondering about going into this Cubs season. I'm like, look, was the Last Dance last season? You know, like, is this a year past what should have been the end? Theo's gone. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's more of the narrative going into the season for the Cubs.
It is.
Than winning baseball games.
That's the narrative.
You know what I mean?
You got the last piece of the core of that championship team still hanging on by a thread.
Mm-hmm.
And like I always tell you, I don't know a better 2, 3, 4, and 5 hitter in baseball at their best than Chris Bryant, Javier Baez, Anthony Rizzo, Wilson Contreras. Now, I'm pretty sure if you look around the league, there are comparisons that are that good.
All you got to do is look across town. You know what I mean?
Tell me.
Jose Abreu, Eloy Jimenez, Luis Robert.
Eloy Jimenez still got work to prove. Luis Robert, he still got work to prove. Jose Abreu and Tim Anderson, yeah, they do. That was 1 year. That was 1 year. I'm talking about they don't have a long enough career. They don't have a long enough baseball card for me yet. Tim Anderson, great. Jose Abreu, great.
I'm not saying I would take them over, but I'm saying like on paper, even right now, that is Jose Abreu, Eloy Jimenez, Luis Robert. That's hell for a pitcher. Like you said, at their best. And you can stretch. You can go Yohan, and then you can stretch it the other way and go Grandal, Magical. It's that part of the White Sox lineup. At their best, like you said, balls will be hit very hard and very often.
Well, I'm just speaking from track record.
Oh, see, now I'm thinking, what have you done for me lately?
I agree with you 100%.
You know?
I agree with that.
And now, because of course, like, I seen Anthony Rizzo at work. I've seen the best of Chris Bryant.
But to your point, Anthony Rizzo is 30 plus now.
Yeah, see?
Could we have seen his best already?
Baseball is weird like that. You know what I mean? Baseball, I feel like the clock is so like random for baseball players. Sometimes you just, you know what I mean? That tick up there doesn't tick as quickly as it once did. And I do think that it does have something to do with the fact that they won the championship so early in their careers. I don't think it's unreasonable to think that they lost a little bit of the fire after they reached the mountaintop at 22, 23 years old. That was the biggest goal in their careers.
Right.
And then again, in baseball, it's hard to even replicate it. They did get tired. And then the offense, the front office didn't reload the farm system or the major league team with the right pieces. And then they traded away Dylan Cease, Eloy Jimenez, which it just was a snowball effect of going in the wrong direction. And I don't know when that snowball, when does that snowball stop? Like, to our experience, and just my 30 years of watching baseball, it stops when everybody is gone. And then as a White Sox fan that saw the fallout from 05, that had to reckon with the idea that team was a team that had a great season and that's it. You know what I mean? And trying to capture that in the years after that and not getting close. You know what I mean? The Cubs look more and more like that team with every year that passes. Yes, these guys were talented players, and the way they came up was like some storybook stuff. You know what I mean? I was at WGN when Javier Baez came up, and out of nowhere, no plan. It wasn't planned. It was like, gee, we're going to the Cubs game today to see Javi Baez's debut. It was a special time to be a Cubs fan. It was what Cubs fans had waited on for 108 years.
But it was also, again, it was also because it starts from the top.
But see, now, my point is, now it's over. You know what I mean? And now it's a few years of being over. And now it's about where do you build again from? You know what I mean? And I keep thinking about Jason Hayward and players like that. You know what I mean? And players like Ed Howard. I'm like, gee, start rebuilding now.
They are rebuilding now.
Thank
you gotta
you.
rebuild. They're starting by rebuilding the farms. That's the only way. You have to rebuild the farm system. First of all, we know these guys. All of those guys are free agents at the end of this year. You're not going to be able to bring everybody back. You have to make a decision one way or the other. Which way are we trying to go? Are we trying to go younger? Obviously, that's the way you go. You go younger. Javier Baez. We saw what. What's our guy over in Fernando Tatis? We saw him set the bar for what Major League Baseball will be looking like, in the future. So now, 10 years for 300 and however many million, 340 million. I know how.
Come on. He's thirsty.
And baseball, again, like you said, this is a what have you done for me lately sport. So Javi sucked last year. Let's be honest. Chris Bryant,
don't think Javi could be that bad last year.
Chris
even
Bryant,
in 60 games.
He sucked last year. The Cubs, they pretty much sucked last year. If it wasn't for that hot start, the first quarter of the season, they played 60 games?
Yeah.
And they started out 15-5 maybe?
That was so key. But of course, in baseball, starting out fast does something
for you at the end of the.
It truly helped the Cubs last year for sure.
And that's basically what I meant when I said baseball and football are so different, because baseball is an everyday sport. It's 162 games in 184 days. Football is one game a week. You lose 2 in a row, it's over.
And you get to prepare for one team for 7
days.
Come on.
2-game losing streak. It's over.
Oh, man, it's over.
Especially if you're in that league.
Luckily
for the NFC least.
Oh yeah, you can lose 8 or 9 games
and still be a wild card. Or no, you can win your division.
See now of course I'm going to give guys like Javier Baez and the rest of the big names for the Cubs
the benefit of the doubt, of course,
and the chance to come back and start this season hot. You know what I mean? Because I feel like the adjustments that Javier Baez, like you said, the difference, I got to see what this pitcher's on in between my next bat. You know what I mean?
Right, to make that
that
adjustment.
That is a part of baseball. Javi didn't get to do it. You can blame the Astros for cheating, whatever. But Javi, they have to show and improve. Now, real quick on the other side of town, man. I was doing some research last night. And because I'm feeling like we're going to kick up our coverage next week, man. And I'm looking at that White Sox rotation like, oh, my God. how good are these guys going to be? You know what I mean? Because I feel like
the rotation
alone.
Have they? Well, I know it's still early in spring training. Guys are still ramping up. They're still trying to fine tune things. But has Tony La Russa said anything about which way they're leaning?
Oh yeah, he threw the ball to Lucas.
Obviously, Lucas is going to be the ace.
He's going to be the opening day starter.
Think Dallas Keuchel will be two
Dallas
just because you
Keuchel.
want to go right, left.
Yep, and then back to Lance Lynn.
So Lance Lynn will be the middle.
Will be the third. Now, where Tony La Russa has kind of like left the question marks is everybody after that. It's like, is it going to be Dylan Cease? Is it going to be Ronaldo Lopez? Is it going to be Michael Kopech or Carlos Rodon? Who low-key, I'm seeing his numbers in the spring. The man
looked
is
decent.
nice.
The last outing I saw, he looked super decent out there.
And don't forget, they got a new pitching coach for the first time in years.
Was Don Cooper the
Don Cooper?
Coop is gone?
Yeah, and he just spoke for the first time. He said his heart was broke. You know
They
what I mean?
fired him?
They fired him. He was the first cat fired. I think he got cut before my boy Ricky did. So
Fool had been there for how long?
For like 18 seasons, Gene. Yeah, I mean, every single
Says a lot.
arm that can, it says a lot, but it was time, you know. Now people are saying that Rodon looks good, Dylan Cease is looking good, Michael Kopech, Ronaldo Lopez. That's just a great problem to have when you look at the issues that this team has had over the last couple of years. 2 years ago, G, me and you could have came out of the pen for the White Sox, okay? Just 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm wondering how good can this team be? The narrative for the White Sox going into the season is, how close to the mountaintop are these guys? You look at the Padres, Tatis and Manny, and you is over there now. They've done a lot of things to put that roster in another position.
All day.
They went out with, who were they playing in the first round?
The Dodgers.
Yeah, they were playing the Dodgers, and they ended up going to win the World Series. The top of the MLB mountain is stacked. You know what I mean? The Dodgers, Mookie, and about every position they probably got the best playing base. You know what I mean?
Dodgers, man.
Then the Padres, and then is it the White Sox? You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what I'm wondering. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, they should have won the division last year. They were the first team to clinch. Should our focus be on the division instead of the league, or is the division just a piece of the puzzle right now? You know?
Let's see.
Because I'm feeling like the White Sox are right at the tippy top of the American League.
Let me go back.
Let me know if y'all feel me in the comments, man. I know we got some Southsiders over here that have spent the last few years
you got to
watching.
put your pride to the side. Sox fan, Cubs fan, we talking real baseball here. Put your homer to the side and put your baseball cap on. So the Dodgers are 1, the Padres are 2, the Mets are 3, the Yankees are 4.
The Mets did some work.
The White Sox are 5.
Who are 4?
The Yankees.
The Yankees.
I think the biggest thing for the Yankees this year will probably be their starting pitching outside of Garrett Cole. We don't really know.
Yeah. That's something like, okay. And see now, they
did sign Corey Kluber though. Don't forget that.
You're right.
So that's as good as a 1-2.
See now, but that's that South Side chip on your shoulder because you're already looking like, nah, the White Sox are better than the Yankees. You know what I mean? But see, we'll see. The young players have to step back up. Yohan Moncada, yeah, I mean, it's just a natural talent. Have you been able to see any bit of the spring?
Now, a couple games, and most of the time I catch them. When those guys have probably gotten their 1 or 2 ABs and they went to the crib.
And see now, this may be some of the South Side just still peeking his head through, but I'm not as worried as you seem to be about the young guys on offense.
No, it's not worried. Don't let me not
because we know it's stages to it.
Period. And we always talk about baseball, man. Specifically, is the sport where you cannot skip steps. You just cannot skip steps, bro. And again, in my soul and in my gut, I feel like that is the reason they brought Tony La Russa in, because they saw where this thing may be headed. last year because
It's
as
fragile.
much as
When you get it's fragile.
as
You gotta
much as
keep
we
it
love
together.
Tim and as passionate as he is, and as much as he's gonna put himself out there and not change and lead this next generation of ball players who speak up and let their flair show and let their natural ability and be their natural selves on the field. This is still one of those sports, bro, where you have to find that middle ground. And you talked about it last time where Dallas Keuchel kind of wasn't maybe not feeling what Tim Anderson said about them being the best team in the league. And I see both sides because as your leader, Tim Anderson has to be the leader of that team. But when you got Jose Abreu, who was he was AL MVP, right?
Yes, sir.
When you got Dallas Keuchel, who's the only guy on that team with a ship,
hardware,
who's seen it all, you got to weigh all of those opinions. So I'm not worried about the Sox. Again, like you said, when you look at those guys 1 through 9 on paper, that's as formidable of a lineup that you can find in the league. But again, it's 162 and 184, bro. And the expectations are there now. Last year, they exceeded expectations.
They did.
The expectations are
100%.
there now.
Now, the last spring game I watched, I think the couple of the infielders, including Tim, had a couple of bad defensive plays.
And you want them to have those. Get that out your system now.
Please get it out of your system now because I feel like that's the one lingering thing in Tim's game that seems to like kind of bite him every year his career are errors. You know what I mean? But see now, I still feel like he makes up for it with his athleticism out there and can make plays that other shortstops can't make. Now, here's where I'm most interested in Tim kind of growing. It's like, yes, he's the leader emotionally and on the field. You know what I mean? But what I feel like he's learning and embracing is that doesn't mean he has to be like the leader all the time. He's surrounded by leaders.
Right.
He's surrounded by Jose Abreu. He's surrounded by Dallas Keuchel and now Tony La Russa, who are leaders. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that Tim doesn't always have to be, I'm the guy. You know what I mean?
But also, man, this is what I'm saying. They can help shape him. Because you
100%.
got Tony La Russa.
He got to let him.
You got Dallas Keuchel, and you got Jose Abreu. Like you said, those are 3 separate type of
Even
leaders
Lucas
in their own
Giolito,
way.
you know what I mean?
There you go. That's the square. Because he's a leader.
Period.
So I feel like all of those guys pouring into Tim Anderson, I think that bodes well for those guys going forward. And I just think for the White Sox, man, this year, it's boom or bust, bro. I'm not necessarily they got to win the World Series, but they have to.
They got to be knocking on the door.
They have to win the AL Central, and they have to win.
They got to get to the AL Championship Series, right? They got to
ALCS.
Yeah, they got to get They got to be one of the teams right there to get to the World Series.
I agree.
You know, hey, real quick, I see my big bro in the comments saying he's saying that people don't know that he bleeds Cubby Blue. Hey, let me tell you, okay?
What y'all think, man? If y'all been following bro and we talk baseball, y'all know you should know damn well what side he rocking with.
He bleeds nothing but Cubby Blue. There's no in between. Yes, like it don't get any realer than bro Brandon Tomlin as a Cubs fan. Just so we know.
Nothing like the smell of urine and vomit while watching the Cubs game. Kenneth Steele, man, you are off the chain, bro.
Classic Sox fan banter, G. I'm ready for it. I'm looking forward to it in a couple of weeks.
As far as the Cubs, and we can end the conversation, Ron Rilla can take us to our last break of the day. But, man, as far as the Cubs, bro, between Tom Ricketts and the Ricketts family crying broke, we didn't ask y'all to turn Wrigleyville into Rickettsville. And, the Cubs, I guess we would call it their inability to land like top tier.
Yeah.
Free agents. I mean, Jock Peterson was cool. Getting Zach Davies in exchange for you was cool. You know, getting a guy like Trevor Williams, who I think if he comes back decent enough, that could add some depth to the Cubs rotation. But, hey, man, I just don't want to see these guys get lost in the weak-ass NL Central, bro, because as much trash as I talk about the NL Central, which I think might be, the NL Central was the best division in baseball just a few years ago, and now they might be the worst division in baseball.
There's no debate in that either, Joe.
And if they get caught up and lost in the shuffle in this division this year, you're right. It's over.
On that note, Ron, take us to break. We'll be right back.
Yep.
Good baseball chat.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning.
Our Attorney General Kwame Raoul.
I have reached out to the Hospital Association and the Med Society to talk about how proactively we can talk about implicit bias in healthcare and begin to address the situation system-wide, because I've also simultaneously directed my civil rights team to begin to look at that and look at ways that it may have manifested itself. We've done so historically with regards to the nursing home industry, where you've had some nursing home owners that staff disparately. So if they're in a black community, they won't have much staff as they will in a white community. We've taken that on from a civil rights standpoint, and we're prepared to take on other instances of implicit bias in healthcare.
Utilizing your office to investigate civil rights and healthcare as a civil rights issue. That's actually pretty powerful, and it demonstrates how we have to be working in coordinated efforts with our elected officials in places and positions of power.
What's up, good people?
Y'all go accept my request on the page so I can do the survey.
Why would we do that?
I'm trying to do the survey.
Why would we let you in? Why would we let you on the... You talking about the Iswiz Book Club page? No, why would
we're going to let you in, Ron. You need to read. I'm with that. I'm definitely put you on.
Somebody please let Ron in the Iswiz. Is it? I thought it was a public page.
I don't know. I don't run it.
I don't know who run it. You got to talk to Shannon and Robin and...
You say what? Y'all group private like it's something special or something.
First of all, it is something special.
Ass.
Okay?
There's something special. Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
And you gonna talk it again. Don't get no punishment again now.
Right. They already came in there like, look at her being nice to Ron today. It wasn't gonna last.
You always mess.
I think Adrian came in like, for now, like just for a little while.
Just for a little while.
Just for a little while. Just for a little while. Somebody let that man in the page. Somebody let that man in the page, Robin. Please let him in. I said what I said. Herb 2, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Day one. Yes, sir, I like how that sound right there, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of inspirational. It's like everybody got a goal. They're trying to reach or alive. They're trying to live, man. Be bumps in the road. You gotta keep pushing forward. You know what I'm saying? If it don't kill you, it make you strong. You know what I'm saying? My story right here. Yeah. It takes a special kind of mind to grind and work from the bottom and climb up the ladder of success in time. It doesn't matter what the test is, every step is another level till I step in as the next in line, no question. I'm considered one of the best, my whole life invested in, holding mics and sketching rhymes, you guessed it. I'm on mine, still restless, yes, even pressed up my records on my own dime. As many battles I blew breath in, and open mics I blessed. I'll never be labeled an overnight success, passing out CDs, doing shows for free, then dabbing to eat so that my soul can speak over these soulful beats that's so cold to me. Like the breeze in the shower, we be posted deep. All the prices that I paid, the sacrifices I made, it'll all come to life one day, someday. Wait and see, someday, we'll make it for me, we'll wait and see, someday. Just be patient, man. Bumps and road ain't nothing. Rotate, doesn't stop, no. Check it out, look, I remember it like yesterday, trying to get my record played at a radio station where they play hits for days, having a conversation with this lady I'm facing while she making a statement made for me. She said, look, it's too many words in your hook, you need to work on your look. For what it's worth, I never took her words personal, but at first I wasn't certain though if she knew my words are personal and not just verses and books. Until the curtain closes, this is my version of what I know, learning in first person till I blow, and still I know how it feels to know I'm the deal. Did you still feel like a deal is just right, or a deal just might still add to my appeal? But they won't know I'm real till I touch my first million, right? I'ma chill till my bars is felt and play my hand with the cards I'm dealt, and that's the plan till it's solved itself. Everything you want in this world is
is yours. All you gotta do is claim it, man. Be patient, work hard, man. Don't make it. Trip on.
Yo, it's damn near impossible to shop music without lots of loot to maneuver and make moves with. So I stay in tune with my pursuit. Fuck trying to recoup. I'm trying to
back with a bid.
Move units. The truth is, I'm used to excuses. Dudes give like you can do what I do. Food and prove it. Walk in my shoes, then I'm used to goofy producers and cools that try to misuse you quick. Why you got it confused?
Well, first of all, it's great to be with such a great group with FSG. They've done so many great things over the years, and just that collective group of people, they're just amazing to be partners with. As far as the Red Sox, obviously a historical franchise, and we know the history of the World Series championships they've brought back home to Boston, and the players that's come through there, and the legacy that they hold in that area. So I think for me and for my partner Maverick to be the first two black men to be a part of that ownership group in the history of that franchise, I think it's pretty damn cool. It gives me and people that look like me hope and inspiration that they can be in a position like that as well, that it can be done. It gives my kids at my I Promise school more and more inspiration as well. But it's a great day for myself, for my family, for my school, for my business partner Maverick Carter, and everyone that has something to do with our group. But it's a pretty amazing thing, and for me to continue to build my portfolio off the floor, also in a beautiful game like baseball.
One more, man. Shout out to LeBron and Mav, Joe.
My goal is to own a team, own an NBA team. I got so much to give to the game. I know what it takes to win at this level. I know talent. I also know how to run a business as well. And, so that is my goal. My goal is to own an NBA franchise. And, it'll be sooner than later. Yeah,
Speak it into existence, my brother.
That is the latest with LeBron James. It came out yesterday. Him and Maverick Carter are joining the ownership group of the Boston Mavericks. They are the first black owners of the Boston Red Sox ever. And LeBron officially is in the world of baseball as an owner.
Ain't he a Yankees fan?
He is a Yankees fan, which I feel like that's super cool because now it's business. You know what I mean? This is a business move.
Business never personal.
Oh, it's never personal. So a couple years from now when you see LeBron at a Yankees game, even though he's a Red Sox owner, don't trip. You know what I mean? So, but man, I thought that was huge news, man, because I feel like when you talk about LeBron James, the businessman that he's getting ready to become is something like we've never seen. But I also feel like what it made me think about what players' aspirations should be. You know what I mean? Should the aspiration be to play in the NBA, or should it be to own a team in the NBA? When you're a guy like LeBron or Kevin Durant, you know what I mean? And or just one of those top players in the league who is going to be in the upper echelon of money getters in the league. You know what I mean? LeBron is showing you that the top of the mountain is higher than I feel like a lot of athletes really kind of understand right now. You know what I mean? And I feel like for him to say that as a player that's still playing for championships in the league, saying, hey, it's going to be sooner or later, sooner than later, that I'm going to be owning an NBA team, man, I feel like that's just super powerful.
Man, get money, bro. And I mean, that's a huge move that most athletes probably don't see possible. I mean, maybe it's different now because, these guys are making a lot of money, a lot of business ventures. A lot of, he said we already know he's GM. Yeah, that's true. Chris. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good standard for LeBron to set to show other guys that there is life in basketball and in sports after you're done. But yeah, you can be an owner as well.
He said, I got a lot to give to the game of basketball. You know?
And I agree with him. I think, like he said, we know he's a great GM. We know he can scout talent. We know he knows talent. Like he said, he knows how to run a business. Now, running a business and running a franchise, a sports franchise, are two different things. It is still a business, but those are running. What is it? Is LeBron? Does he have his? Well, he does have his own line.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know,
but see now, I feel like when you talk about that, you gotta give some love to how they move, how that group of guys over there moves when it comes to business. Maverick Carter and LeBron, I feel like have some of the most calculated business steps. You know what I mean? And I saw somebody ask why the Red Sox, and I feel like that's an interesting question. Because you look at the history of the Red Sox and it's racist, yeah, I mean, it's or just baseball in general.
Right. The last of the Mohicans, they hanging on by a thread.
They were the last team to integrate in Major League Baseball. You know what I mean? And I feel like the last team to have like a black player and all of that. So now fast forward however many years, they got black owners, and it's LeBron and his business partner Maverick Carter.
Yeah, I would love to know more behind the scenes about why and how that. Yeah.
Now I feel like if it was any intent on if the Red Sox were intentional and not just where the opportunity was at that time, then that's wild. It's like what's the most racist team in baseball? Let's go ahead and put some blackness in it. You know what I mean? Let's put some black in it. You know what I mean? So I know that to me the Red Sox just got kind of cooler, which is usually the case when you team up with athletes and black athletes. You know what I mean? But as a business move, I'm totally excited for this, like being the start of LeBron as a sports owner. You know what I mean? I feel like. Of course, I sat back and I was daydreaming. I'm like, I saw a day where a majority, the league had a majority of black owners. You know what I mean? And LeBron was leading the charge. But to snap back to reality, that may be more of a pipe dream. But I feel like LeBron is totally on point, and I liked everything he said in that.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I would just like to know more about why Boston, like you said, and
now does it matter?
No, it does. I mean,
because how many black owners are there in baseball? Period.
That's why I want to know why Boston.
See, now I wouldn't be surprised if it was Boston that saw the benefits.
Of course.
So. I want were they seeking something somebody like
and who
LeBron.
Was they? I mean,
it was
on his side,
it's a group that owns the Boston Red Sox.
FSG.
It's not like it's not like a single owner. They got a group of guys, and LeBron is like he's a part owner of that group now. Let
me see. Oh yeah, the Fenway Sports Group. Yeah, man. I'm happy, that LeBron got his hands in something else. I know he got his hands in Liverpool and a couple other things. But yeah, I would love to know more. I'm pretty sure in the next few days, maybe if we do enough research, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find out a lot more information. Not sure if he's talked about it more at length yet. But I'm pretty sure somebody in the next couple of days, if it's one of the LA beat writers or somebody that'll be able to, those guys who get to talk to him every day, pretty sure somebody will bust the questions out and we'll be able to hear more of why. But just as far as like the investment team itself, it's like who are the guys on the investment team? Because, we know it's just not him and Maverick Carter. We know
it's a bunch of white dudes. And
hey, LeBron, man, your best bet is to J down with the Fenway Sports Group. It's not like I don't think LeBron was like, man, gee, you know what?
I want to
think the Fenway Sports Group would be our best move. You know what I'm saying? That's where the hang up is with me. and we're not there. You know, we don't know too much about what goes on in acquiring teams and percentages and all of these different things. So I would love to hear from LeBron's mouth. I don't want to hear from anyone else. I want to hear from LeBron's mouth what went into the decision to join, the Boston Red Sox up top. But regardless, man, huge move for him and Mav. Like you said, Clutch Sports, you saw what they did with Rich Paul. Saw what Clutch is doing for these young guys. They tried to stifle Rich Paul early in the door, but
of course
he kicked the doors down, and it's been open season ever since. So just want to see where these guys can take it next. And, hey, man, speak it into existence. Let's see is he going to own the Cleveland Cavaliers, though?
Now he's going to own the Chicago Bulls, dog. Watch.
Wow.
On that note.
Chicago Bulls. Segue?
Yo, somebody, you seen how they got, what was the Clippers owner? Donald Sterling.
Got him out the paint quick.
Area better not be no videos. Hanging around. LeBron is looking for an NBA team.
Somebody said Bron needed to bring his ass on the soil. Kenneth said that. Yeah, I mean, no Bron or somebody, one of his guys, they on the soil low-key right now, probably on Twitch or YouTube checking the brothers out. So,
how do you feel the interactions between the bigs and LeBron have been?
It's been all good. I told you he showed me love last year. I'm not the biggest LeBron fan, basketball. But I'm pretty sure LeBron just moved up as the GOAT in the NBA for acquiring the Boston, being part ownership of the Boston Red Sox.
Now, don't forget LeBron. I'm just realizing sitting here, it was an interaction with LeBron that made the Bulls kind of like mad. Remember that? Was it last year LeBron? I threw him the pass from the sideline in the warm-ups.
Really?
And the Bulls was like, why are you over
there? That
there?
was it? That's what caused that?
Yes. That's what they said to me. And I'm like, gee, LeBron asked me to pass the ball to him, and I did, and he put up a jumper after that. Like, wouldn't you? You know what I mean? So
wow, I don't even remember that.
The eyes in the skies were watching, and they didn't like that very much, but I didn't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when I came, remember I was running late, so I was coming through the hallway, and you know how the team, they come out the locker room the visiting locker room is so small that they be a bunch of 6'4" through 7 feet, 230-pound men crunched up in a man, that locker room might be, if you knock this wall down in between us, this is how big the locker room is. For 12 men, 6'4" to 7 feet, 200 to 300 pounds in a space this big. So they come out into the hallway and stretch before they run out when they're on TV, before you see them run out on the floor and get in the crip line. They're like stretching in the hallway because it ain't no space to stretch in the locker room. So they stretching. So I'm coming in. I'm late. So I'm going through the hallway, ready to go up to the press box, and I'm on my phone texting. I'm walking past the visitors' locker room, and they're in the hallway. LeBron stretching. I have my hat on like backwards, kind of broke off to the left like I do. And I'm, and all I hear is, "What up, gangster?" And this LeBron, and he got his hand out. As I'm walking past, I'm like, "Oh, what up, Joe?" And I kept it moving. And I was like, then I thought about it. I'm like, okay, first of all, what up, gangster?
Of course.
Then I thought, I'm like, But then I thought about it. I'm like, man, LeBron is a kid from the inner city of Akron, Ohio. Like,
do we got to bring up the first pictures of LeBron?
Yeah, he one of them guys. He from the projects, man. I don't think he was necessarily fronting.
Mm-hmm.
But that was this guy ain't all that bad.
See, I feel like what that was, and I feel like what most people don't get is like a glimpse into who LeBron really is.
Yeah, game recognized game. He saw a true player, somebody that he felt like he could be himself with, and shook me up. And I'm like, oh,
you feel me, Gino?
Yeah,
you feel me?
100%.
Which most NBA players are really looking for when it comes to the media.
No doubt.
LeBron Pete.
Some
familiarity.
Yeah.
Man, we ain't even got to talk about
felt home. He saw you and felt like, man, I felt at home.
He did. What up, gangster?
With his Ron, 100%.
As he's stretching, though, I'm walking this way. He's over here on the
Okay,
wall
I see
stretching.
something normal out here. Something normal walking past.
What up, gangster? I said.
It's crazy, bro.
Oh, what up, Joe?
Real quick, I was watching this movie called When We Were Kings. It's a documentary on the Thriller in Manila. Some behind-the-scenes footage, Muhammad Ali classic stuff, but they had a part where Don King was explaining how he gets all the top boxers to mess with him. He was like, look at you, look at me. And he was like, when they look at you, they know that it's just certain experiences that you can't relate to.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's like, when they look at me, they see their whole lives. And we don't even have to speak on it.
True.
We just know
Right.
that we're alike. You know what I mean? And that is exactly the Biggs recipe. So
The Bulls, man.
the Bulls, bro. You know what? The Bulls, I feel like we're in peacetime. You know what I mean? We're out of wartime, and we're in a period of peace. And I feel like the Godfather. I stand up and I tell you now, I will not be the one to break the peace. But if something happens, you know what I mean? If my son should trip and hurt himself, I will not understand, and the peace will be over. So it is fragile.
The Bulls face the San Antonio Spurs tonight.
Facts. No, DeMar DeRozan.
Again?
Yes,
Where is
again.
he?
They're giving him all the time he needs. He's out. He just attended the services of his father passing.
Oh, he's been out?
He's been out for the last 3 games.
Okay.
So he's going to be out again tonight. Really another break for the Bulls. Who
No LaMarcus Aldridge.
No LaMarcus Aldridge.
This
You know
is
what I mean?
this is what we talked about in the Bulls' steps of growth.
Another game where they
You should beat
win,
the San Antonio Spurs at home without their best player. We saw them handle business last night. I saw Zach LaVine, and that's growth on Zach LaVine's part. You get in the game early. You let those people know early in the game, we're that much better than you guys. Let's get this over quick so in the fourth quarter I can rest because we have back-to-back games. Even though the Oklahoma City Thunder came back from down 20 in the second quarter, they took the lead actually, but the Bulls came out in the third.
Zach had 20 in the third.
Yeah, got back on top of those guys, and they finished the job, ended up winning by a 30-pack. So great job by those guys, getting it done early, getting some rest because back-to-backs are no joke. But, again, this is a day without their best player. The Bulls should make this 2 in a row. And they're in 9th place right now. It's crazy that the Charlotte Hornets are in 5th place in the Eastern Conference.
Shout out to LaMelo Ball, but it's the equivalent of the NFC least. You know what I mean? The Eastern Conference in the NBA. If the Charlotte Hornets
the NBA
are a top 5 team.
The NBA Leastern Conference.
They're Gino. He's done it again. So
hey man.
The Leastern Conference. I like that. Yeah.
7 o'clock tonight, NBC Sports Net, Bulls versus Spurs. We won't be in the building, but we will be there in
the
spirit.
stadium is the couch anyway. The couch is the new stadium.
The couch is the new stadium. Yeah, we've taken it there. So hopefully the Bulls can pull it out because the schedule doesn't get any easier
at all
after the night. Denver Nuggets, Utah Jazz.
Do we got enough time for a word of the
day?
day?
Come on. You know we're not getting out of here without the word of the day. Ron Riller. Today's word of the day. Y'all knew we wasn't getting out of here without the word of the day.
Can't do it.
Today's word of the day. Hey, Herb, get in there, man. I know you should have been a Dolphin. You think you the smartest guy around. Should have been a Dolphin. Today's word of the day.
What's today's word of the day?
Pleonasm.
Pleonasm, okay.
I got nothing for you.
It's a noun.
Okay.
Its origin is Greek.
Okay.
Mid-16th century. The use of more words than are necessary to convey meaning, either as a fault of style or for emphasis.
That's funny.
Wait till I talk to Salim today. Wait till I see Salim pop in any show today.
I don't know if Salim got this one in his vocab. I'm sure he may have used this.
Pleonasm?
Pleonasm. Hold on. I enjoyed the book, despite the author's tendency toward pleonasm.
Yeah. So I don't know if Salim is.
I would bet that Salim knows the word.
I'm sure he does.
But even if he doesn't, I'm going to use it to describe him.
That's what I was laughing at.
Because
now see,
pleonasm.
Because he has a tendency towards pleonasm.
Salim Muwakil has a tendency towards pleonasm.
Yeah. I don't think he does it, just to make himself sound smart. I think he does it. What was the definition? It was two parts. One was to sound smart. The other one was something
The use of more words than are necessary to convey meaning, either as a fault of style or for emphasis.
Yeah, I think he does it
for emphasis.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he speaks stylistically that way.
Okay.
Wait till I see him.
Of course, I went straight to the Bears. I'm like, that describes every Bears press conference that I've seen in the last 2 years.
Hey,
so.
what was the Mark Trestman clip where he was like, if I start to name some people, I'm gonna forget some people, and if I remember some people, I'm gonna forget some other people. So I was like, wait, what?
100%. It's just don't even say that. Okay?
Mark
Trestman, him and Phil Emery, the oddest era of Bears football ever.
Do you remember those two guys like
about it.
shaking hands in the press conference, but they were like just so not into him?
All I can see is the slick back hair of Mark Trestman on that.
Bad.
It was bad.
I remember I talked to Jay Cutler in a hotel room in Nashville. Like, what? That's weird, bro.
Don't tell us the rest of that story.
Yeah, we don't need to know the rest of the story,
we
bro.
don't want to know how you ended up there. Like, okay.
It's weird, bro.
On that note.
Yes, sir.
Y'all heard him in the background, Herb Howard. I don't think Cuz is here. Cousin 2 is not in the building, but I know Herb can hold it down by his lonesome. I said what I said.
Indeed.
Intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. Up next, 3 to 6 every day on the What's In It for the Black People Media Network. Man, that's another episode of On the Soil.
Another one.
We appreciate all the family members in the building, in the comments. We
Real
appreciate
family.
Ron Rilla holding us down behind the boards.
Yes, sir.
The producer.
Pleonasm,
Yes, sir.
man. Karen edited her papers carefully to cut out all pleonasm.
I mess with that.
Pleonasm. Pleonasm.
Pleonasm. That I'm throwing that in the vocab. I'm gonna use that.
On that note, for myself, for my player partner T-Tom,
Love, family.
for Ron Rilla, and the whole What's In It for the Black People Media Network. Y'all know what we do over here at the Bigs, man. Show love, spread love. Stay away from the haters. Circulate the dollar with your people, man. Circulate the dollar with your people. But always, 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 always keep it player. And in the words of the great late Chad Butler, y'all may know him as Pimp C.
The Pimp.
Get off the boo-boo.
It's us, y'all.
WIFTBPN.